What on God's green earth is a Whisky Infinity Bottle? So we're going to jump into that today and explain what is an Infinity Bottle, and then we're also going to taste my first and very own Infinity Bottle. Stick around. It might sound like this fantastic, special and magical bottle of whiskey that never runs out of whiskey. Unfortunately, this isn't the case. But this is the concept behind the Whisky Infinity Bottle. So what is an Infinity Bottle? It's basically any bottle that you blend your own whiskey in. In this instance, the way that I have approached it is I've added remnants of bottles that either I had enjoyed and wanted to mix them together to see what they would create, or bottles that I had left that I wasn't that fascinated in. So I wanted to see if I could create something where the total was greater than the sum of its parts. This Whisky Infinity Bottle is a Royal Dalton decanter that we had at home. I'd say there's about 10 different whiskies in this bottle, and that includes Scotch whiskey, Japanese whiskey, and bourbon as well. So a mix of all kinds of stuff. Probably got chill filtered whiskey in there, and it would likely fall within the range of, I'd say, 43 to 46% ABV based on what I've put in here. Now, I can't recall everything that's gone into my Infinity Bottle, but I know for certain that it contains Kalila 12, Glendronach 12, there's Glendronach traditionally peated in there, there is Royal Turkey Rare Breed Barrel Proof, there is Mars Iwai traditional blended Japanese whiskey, I think there's some Dalwhinnie 15 in there. There might be some Port Charlotte, a mixture of all kinds of different stuff. It's been sitting now for just about 6 months to let the whiskeys start to, I guess, marinate and blend and merge together and see what comes out. So I wanted to give it a little bit of time to work its magic, and we're going to taste it on camera for the first time today with you guys. So it could be a fantastic outcome, or it could be absolutely horrible. And either way, it's going to be awesome because we're going to get it on camera. I think with that background out of the way, let's pour a dram and nose and taste my very own Infinity Bottle. All right. Okay. You can see it looks much lighter in the glass than it does. So maybe the crystal is giving it a bit of giving me a false reading on the actual color of this one. It wasn't something that I had necessarily intended to do. My first initial thought around the Infinity Bottle was, why would I tip good whiskey into a bottle and mix it? If I enjoy it, I want to drink it. But you know, curiosity got the better of me, as it usually does. So I started to create my own with whiskeys that I had enjoyed but was comfortable enough to mix them together and blend them. I wouldn't be tipping the high-end stuff in here. Like, I'm not gonna start tipping Lafroig 25 or Springbanks in here, if that makes sense. And another thing I think is important to note with an Infinity Bottle, it's highly unlikely, if you're blending a whole heap of whiskeys that don't suit your palate and you don't enjoy, that you're suddenly going to miraculously make something fantastic out of terrible ingredients. So worth keeping in mind, it's not a quick fix for terrible whiskey. It's just something interesting, and getting a bit of a respect for what blenders do in a distillery as well. Let's try and nose this Infinity Bottle, the very first McIntyre's Malt. Although it's not all malt, this one, it's a bit of a blend of different grains and bourbons and whatnot. So on the nose. It's got a lot of peat in there, as to be expected. There's like a lemon zest on this one. There's underlying sherry notes. I'm getting a green grassiness here. Green apples. A little bit more citric bite to this, actually. It's a kind of combination of those peaty flavors and also, I guess, a citrus fruit, green fruits. Okay. So far, so good, guys. It smells all right. I haven't fallen off my chair, and so everything's okay. I don't need to send help yet, but let's see what happens when I try on the palate to infinity and beyond, guys. Oh, that's got some kick. It's sweet. It's actually got a really nice mouth feel. Mouth watering now. I like it. It's got a bit of a sharpness. It's a little bit tannic and bitter, but not off-putting. Stronger oak notes are coming along now. It's got a reasonable medium finish on it. It's not bad. Like, this is something I'm relatively pleased with the outcome here. This is something that I would sit and pour a dram, share with friends as an interesting point of discussion. I think it worked out relatively well. It's, for me, the way I approach it, I don't intend to continue to add to this to make it an infinity bottle where it never runs out. I really just wanted to see, because this has worked and I kind of don't want to wreck it, but I'm also, again, maybe the curiosity will get the better of me, where it's interesting and intriguing to see how I can potentially evolve the flavors in this bottle. Yeah, it's cool. I recommend, if you guys are curious and you want to give it a go, it's something fun, worth trying. I mean, you don't have to use a decanter like this. You could use any typical whiskey bottle. They'll all work. They're all glass. They're all going to do the same thing. They've already held whiskey. Let's try once more on the nose and on the finish and see how it unfolds. Definitely the peat influence is the most prominent thing here. Peat and lemons and grass is kind of where it's sitting on the flavor spectrum. Yeah, lots of lemon now. Zesty. It's got a nice little kick to it. I can't recall. Maybe I've put some Ardbeg or some Port Charlotte in here. There's a similarity to those kind of profiles. Okay, let's try on the finish now. It's like it sneaks up on you. It's very subdued and mellow on the palate, and a nice mouthfeel until I swallow the whiskey, and then the peat rises up out of the back of my palate, fills my mouth and my nasal cavity, and then leaves me with that just satisfied good kick of a nice whiskey. So mission accomplished, guys. I think we've made a success here with my very first infinity bottle. So thank you guys for checking this one out today. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and now you know a little bit more about what an infinity bottle is, and perhaps you kick off and start your own. Let me know in the comments if you've tried making your own infinity bottle and how it worked out, if it went well for you, if it was a disaster. I want to hear. And please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and always enjoy your whiskey responsibly. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you on the next McIntyre's Malts.